this gun. Where's my Glock?
What's up, guys? I'm Student Operator, and today we're going to be doing a review on the HK P30 and why I fucking hate it. Now, as always, our very first order of business is the most messed up comment. Since this is now the third video I've recorded and edited without posting one, we're about to check in with future me to see what the most fucked up thing you guys said is this video. What's up, guys? It's Workday Operator here, and I got your most messed up comment from the P40 Urban Combat Pant video for you. Fidelity asked the question about how effective will these pants be at concealing his tactical boner on the off chance of encountering Flannel Daddy on his way home from the range. Nothing can conceal that, bud. So, I apologize for not having as cool of an intro for this video. You guys know how the ammo shortage is going. I don't gotta tell any of you guys what's going on there. And honestly, I'm not gonna spend the money or waste the ammo shooting a gun that I honestly don't really like. And I know I haven't done as many rounds on this gun as I usually would before posting a review. I've only done about 2,000 to 3,000 rounds through this gun. The reason for that is I never really liked the gun. Like, I would rather use that money to train with the guns I'm actually going to carry and use and get my reps in on those guns that I'm going to be consistently using. So, haven't done quite as many rounds, but I hope you guys can still find some good information from this video nonetheless. And now that we got that out of the way, we can take a dive into this HK P30. Now, discussing full transparency and everything, no relationship with HK or any of the companies I'm going to mention. I bought everything by myself. The way I actually got this gun was I was working part-time in a gun shop, and this came across the used rack, and I said, hey, I want that so I can flex on my friends. And then I bought it, and then I found out it sucks. So we're going to start out by taking a look at the good things about this pistol and just kind of a general overview before I get into all of my gripes about it. So this pistol in standard configuration is a single action, double action. So the way that works is the same way as the Beretta, the SIG 226s, and a bunch of other prominent guns of yesteryear. So you put a magazine into the gun, you rack the slide chambering around, and you decock it, and that drops the hammer, but does not set off a round. Holster up. Then when you draw the gun and acquire your sights, your first trigger pull performs two actions of both drawing or cocking the hammer and dropping it to fire that live round. Then, when the gun goes off, the slide reciprocates, now your hammer's back, and you have a single action trigger, where the only action being performed by that trigger is dropping the hammer. So that's the standard configuration of the HK P30. Now, it's also available in a LEM trigger, which I have this one converted to. So this is a little bit interesting of a trigger system, and it really amazes me just with how it works. So the LEM trigger stands for Law Enforcement Modification. Basically, this is to fit the bill for departments that need a double action only gun. This gun gives them that without sucking. Well, tries to anyway. Basically the way this works is this double action all the time, but it is a pre-cocked double action. So you go ahead and put your magazine in, you chamber around. Now, every time you pull back that trigger, it cocks the hammer. But this is a super light take-up, only a pound or two tops. You come back to a very solid and predictable wall, and then it breaks. So there's your two actions, cocking the hammer, dropping the hammer. Slide reciprocates, now your hammer's back because your trigger's still back. Now, if you just let it down, it lets the hammer down and decocks itself. But every time you pull it back, now you have what is essentially a single action. So you achieve the requirements of having a double action trigger all the time, while still maintaining much of the feel of a striker fired pistol. So now this gun is very European, as Aaron Cowan from Sage Dynamics likes to call it. It has a profile similar to a Glock 19 XR 45 or a lot of the FN 509 offerings. So it has more of a full-size grip, which is comparable in length to like a Glock 17. But the slide and barrel is shorter, about the length of a Glock 19. So for a lot of people who like that 19X-like feel, this is a good option for you. Now, we have good slide serrations, both at the front and at the rear. They're very aggressive, very grippy. No kinds of complaints there. It comes with 3-dot luminescent sights, the basically fancy word for glow in the dark. I replaced this with Trijicon night sights, so it's a 3-dot white outline night sight. You have a ambi slide release, which is actually a very big and beefy magazine release. My only really big complaint with this is when I'm getting my good firing grip, I often tend to hold that down inadvertently and prevent my slide from locking back when empty. The magazine release is also fairly different from what most of us are used to here in the United States. However, it is fully ambidextrous, and that's one really good thing about this gun. It is truly fully ambidextrous. No modifications whatsoever. Pick it up out of the box, no matter which hand you use to shoot, you're going to be able to run this gun. And it's perfectly the same from either side. It's not like one side's weird and doesn't work quite right. Like, no, this is a truly ambidextrous pistol. So the magazine release, it has a paddle style magazine release. So you can see there how it works. So truly ambidextrous, it doesn't get in the way of your master grip at all. It actually sticks up a little bit above the trigger guard, so you don't even feel it when you're in your firing grip. Now, the easiest way that I personally found to use this is instead of trying to reach around with your thumb, because you have to shift your grip and it's kind of awkward, I found it to be much easier to bring my trigger finger back and push that paddle down. So just like that. And I'm losing less of my grip, but still achieving the same thing. Now, when this gun is in single action, double action configuration without the LEM parts installed, the decocker is also extremely accessible from either side. Instead of being along the side of the gun like the SIGs and the Berettas are, the decocker for this guy actually sits right there. So it's very easy to reach back with either thumb and hit that decocker before you go ahead and reholster. So that is a really good and thoughtful design. HK did a really good job of making this gun truly ambidextrous. The other thing that HK did great with this gun is just the grip itself and how ergonomic it feels. When you put this grip in your hand, it feels like it sinks there. It has a really good texture. I'm usually not a big fan of finger grooves like on Glocks, but for whatever reason, when this gun just feels at home in my hand. But I will not be this gun's home for much longer, because as soon as this video is over, I'm going to trade this in on a Glock 17 because it's a better gun. So let's get into the things that I dislike about this gun. Very first thing is magazines. And it's not just the price, although they are stingy at $50 per mag. However, they are metal. This one was like $65, $70 if you want that stendo clip. But the standard magazine capacity for this gun is 15 rounds. Remember when I said it has the same grip length as a Glock 17? What the fuck, HK? Like, I feel like you should be able to fit more magazines in this grip if it's the same size as guns that hold more ammo. Now, they have corrected this. You can now buy, it's either 17 or 18 round mags for this, but to replace all of my mags at 50 cents a pop when I have $50 a pop when I'm selling this gun, yeah, they can go fuck themselves, not doing it. So I just have the 15 rounders. I have 4 of those and 120. And then, like I said, the magazine pricing is very, very high. Now, this does use the same magazines as the HK VP9, which ETS Group is now making those translucent polymer mags for the VP9. So they should be working perfectly fine in this gun. That'll be like less than $20 a mag. I don't typically recommend ETS mags, but if all that you're doing is like training on the range, just don't carry those. Absolutely don't carry them. But if you just want to use them for training or whatnot, I'd say it's a pretty good range mag. The next thing that I don't really like about this gun is the height over bore. That being how far the barrel is over where your hand goes. Now, there's certain guns that do this. That's not really a huge issue. Like the SIG 320 is a rather high height over bore. The SIG 226 is a rather high height over bore. But those guns, the SIG slide for the 320 isn't retarded heavy. And the 226 is an all-metal gun, so the weight kind of helps you negate that extreme muzzle flip. This gun is polymer framed with an insanely beefy slide with a super high height over bore. So every time I shoot this gun, I can just feel it coming up and up and up and just twisting its way up in my hand because I can't get high enough up there to control the recoil super well. And it's like when I can shoot Glocks super flat, super fast, but then this gun, and it's a gun's a gun. It's really not all that different. We're picking at straws here with this review, right? It's a 9mm. It fires bullets and has the capability to kill someone. It's a gun. But when I can shoot this other gun that costs less, so much better than this gun, it kind of turns flexing on the pores into like, wow, like I kind of wish I just had a Glock. My next biggest complaint is aftermarket support. There's not a ton of it, at least not for the standard length barrel P30. The P30L seems to be popular in competition for, I don't know, whatever reason. But for this guy, there's not a whole lot of support, especially with holsters. Finding a holster for this guy is a pain in the ass. I'm running a Tier 1 concealed Axis Slim. It's a M81 on the front, just black back for a Streamlight TLR1 HL. They no longer make this holster. The only light that you can get for a P30 through Tier 1 is the Streamlight TLR7A. That's it. So if you guys are running like an X300 like this, you wouldn't be able to run that on your P30. Actually, G-Code makes one of their incog holsters for that. But actually, to find an outside the waistband holster for this guy with an X300 that wasn't a Safariland that required a 4-month lead time, I've actually been running the Folster Floodlight for this with the Surefire X300. Actually, I have one of those right here I can show you guys. This one in particular is made for a Streamlight TLR1. This is adjusted for the Beretta. So the way this holster works is it basically retains anything that holds a certain weapon light. Pretty cool. So I can run anything from Glocks, 1911, SIGs, Berettas, whatever. Pretty much as long as it's like a standard size pistol and it has the selected weapon light on it, it's going to run. So we have these for Streamlight TLR1 series and also for Surefire X300s. This one's my dad, mine's for an X300. But just thought I could give you guys a look at that. But that was pretty much the only outside the waistband holster option I could find for this gun with a light. My next biggest complaint with this gun is by far the trigger. The trigger sucks. I would hands down rather take a stock Glock over this trigger any day, and that's saying something. I love my Glocks, but I'll be the first one to admit that their triggers are not excellent. So the LEM trigger helped a lot. The double action pull on this gun when I had it set up as a single double was atrocious, and the single action pull was very much subpar. I should have a video of that saved somewhere in my phone, which I will play now. If I accidentally deleted it, completely disregard that I just said that. So now, after converting it to a LEM trigger, which cost me about 120, 130 bucks, now the trigger just feels like that same shitty single action pull all the time. It's really, really not optimal. The trigger is not great. So like I showed you guys before, we have a lie take up, which doesn't bother me because the trigger doesn't weigh that much. We come back to the wall, and from there it's a fairly crisp and clean break. We're going to show trigger weights on this if I can get that filmed here real quick. Then the reset is what kills me. Coming from Glocks with a really good reset and shooting the Beretta LTT and SIG 226s with the short reset triggers, this just feels atrocious. So you let it out and out and out and out, and there it is. And I still have to come back to the wall, so it's not like you can just be right there at the point where it resets and that's where it's going to break again. No, it pushes you back out past that and then you have to come back in. It's a very, very long trigger pull, and it honestly makes running the gun feel a lot slower add that with the increased felt recoil or perceived muzzle flip, if you will, and it just becomes a gun that's very like, it feels really good in your hand, but then as soon as you start to shoot it, you just want more. It's like getting behind the wheel of a Corvette, and then you actually fire it up and realize it's a 4-cylinder. That's what this gun's like. Now, we are going to finish this video out on a last positive note. This gun is reliable. If you are someone who needs the features that go into this, and you're willing to put the money into it to make it better, you can buy performance LEM kits, which apparently shorten up that reset. But I'm not spending another $100 or so to get even better parts in here when I hate this gun, personally. But if this gun fills a need that you guys have, maybe you're a lefty that needs double action only, or maybe you're a lefty that needs single action, double action, or for whatever reason this gun suits your fancy, then I would say go ahead and pick it up. It's going to be reliable. So if you're the kind of person who needs the features that this gun offers and you can deal with the downsides, I would say go ahead and pick it up. It's an HK, it's going to be reliable, it's overbuilt, but if you're just a normal shooter, honestly, save your money, get a Glock, or a SIG 320, or even, dare I say, a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. Just never a Taurus, never buy a Taurus, ever. This gun will work for you, but if the features that it has are suiting some sort of requirement that you guys have, I would say go ahead. It's a pretty good gun, but there are better, more ergonomic, more pleasant to shoot guns and more easily shootable guns out there on the market for the same or less money. And I would encourage you to take a look at other options. All right, guys, that's all we got for this video. Thank you for watching till the end. Like I said, we give a shout out to the most messed up comment from the previous video in the beginning of every next video. So drop a comment, see if you can win. Drop a like, drop feedback. Tell me what you guys like, tell me what you don't like about these videos, things that you want me to take a look at. And if you can actually tolerate watching more of me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, until next time, guys, stay safe.
Fuck that up.
Heard that. Yes, I'm trying to record a YouTube video.